tonight.
Hey, what's going on, Pinball Land? Welcome to Monday Night Pinball. Myself, Ken Caramo, with Steve Beatty and Bill Webb. Welcome. Very special guest from Stern Pinball. Joining us on the program today, Mr. George Gomez. George, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show.
Everybody. Hello, everybody.
So we're gonna have
internet.
Yeah, we're gonna have some. Hey, hello, internet. We're gonna have some fun tonight. George is gonna be walking us through Star Wars Pin, the newest offering from Stern Pinball, in a different format. We're excited to share the game with you tonight. And, of course, George is going to be a little bit gracious with his time tonight. He's going to answer questions in chat. And then, hopefully, a little call-in segment later before he has to skedaddle. Now, full disclosure, he's got a pretty long ride home, so we're not going to keep him here too long. We're just appreciative that he's here. So thanks, George.
Yes, thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
So what can you tell us about Star Wars Pin before we jump into it?
Yeah, so I think you guys know we've been trying to crack into different segments of the market. And this particular product is a lower price product. It's intended to go into places where, it's a first pinball machine, designed to cost less money, be friendlier, teach people the game, and, be more reliable. It's a brand new game. And of course, it takes advantage of things like the Star Wars license, and it leverages a lot of the assets that we created.
Sure.
When we did the commercial games.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
this game will be sold in new places to new people, and it's about growing. It's about growing the hobby. We've sort of explored the high end of the market.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
We've made a $15,000 Batman.
Yeah,
right.
right.
And they sell.
And you have a little Elvira signature edition that just hit the market too.
That signature edition, it's like you tell people it's 50 games.
Yeah.
Well, it's now all of a sudden it's instantly in demand.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Especially if with a solid product, right? Like that. So we're exploring. We've explored the top of the market, and now we're exploring price points down from our pro product. So you'll see. You're going to see all kinds of interesting things from us. This may not be the lowest price point we explore.
I remember when you were on our show when we were initially kind of discussing on launch Star Wars Pin. And I remember you saying that there's going to be different outlets and avenues that you're going to be exploring to kind of see what clicks and what doesn't.
Everybody out there, we want to be all things pinball, right? We are trying to drive our accessory business, our parts business. Our parts business has to come into the 21st century, and we have to make it easier for people to acquire stuff.
Yeah.
And we're looking into we are. You've seen us do events. You've seen us do tournaments.
You guys are very prevalent.
Yeah. So we're basically rounding all this stuff out. You're going to see a bigger digital presence from us. And then this coming year, one of the most exciting things is connectivity and the impact that's going to have on all the products. So I think,
and you had stated that there will be connectivity with this pinball machine as well, right?
Absolutely.
Even though it's maybe a home machine, it's still going to.
Yep, it's ready for it, and it's ready for it. And when we get to that place, then it's going to permeate the product line.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, let's do this. We'll take care of some quick business here. I wanted to thank Scott from Pin Stadium for helping us illuminate our stream with the Extreme Kit. I want to thank Neil from PinQuest. We're going to go over the PinQuest challenges in a week, but I wanted to thank PinQuest Pinball for the 2,500 bits, and then Rebel Guitars for the resub, and Super Mario Brothers here in studio. Now, you're familiar with PinQuest a little bit? Not?
A little bit.
A little bit? Let's go ahead. Let's introduce those PinQuest challenges of the week. Now, the PinQuest challenges of the week were actually George Gomez helped us out with these because, full disclosure, we weren't really sure what was going to be challenging or not. So just a couple quick five that we took from his list. Hit the Jedi skill shot, which I think George can walk us through here in a second. Destroy the Death Star, 500 bits. Hit all combos, 500 bits. Start all multi-balls, 500 bits. And collect all Rebels, 500 bits for a total possible 500 bits as we look at, hey, there she is, Star Wars the Pin.
There's some tough ones in there. That combo one can be challenging, and so we'll see.
We'll see. Thanks, Carrie Hardy, for the 100 bits. We have some time on the game, and I can safely say that it does not feel, and we were talking about this earlier, it doesn't feel like a lessened experience at all. It feels like a pinball machine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're excited to do it. Why don't we start a 4-player game? And as we kind of rotate through, if you don't mind, we'll answer some questions in chat.
Okay.
And then, guys, listen, we're not going to go super long tonight, so maybe we do 4-player action until maybe 6:45 or so, and then we might have George for a little bit for some call-ins before he's got to head out. So we'll be quick and efficient with this stream tonight. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Good to me.
Yeah.
You want to fire up for 4?
Yeah. Do you want to go in this order? Or
How about you want to start us off,
first?
George?
Sure.
Is that
All right,
fine?
perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
George Gomez, hey, steps up to the plate.
Monday Night Pinball, baby.
Monday Night Pinball.
All right, so you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I'll turn you up a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so it's all about collecting the Rebels, right? And if you collect the Rebels ahead of blowing up the Death Star, your Death Star score is going to be that much bigger. The Death Star is available anytime, so basically, initially, take down the 3 drop targets, and we'll start a Death Star multi-ball. It's a very interesting multi-ball. It's a multi-ball that when you're down to your last ball, we'll start strobing. We'll start a timer, and we'll start strobing the Death Star, and it's supposed to simulate, you being, Luke in the trench, to with the opportunity to make the one shot that's going to destroy the Death Star. So, like I said, I think you can do that at any time. It's just that it's worth a lot more if you go into it with all the Rebels. My feeling when I played the big games, the commercial games, was that it was too hard to blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like the experience you want in the pin, and you
so-
very rarely get there.
So I just felt like for this particular product, it had to be easier.
For this particular product, it has to be easier.
Right, so Jedi skill shot, if you don't move, don't touch the buttons, wherever the light is, you got to get the ball through there. Okay. The other skill shot, if you hold the left flipper button, Dean will light the TIE Fighter, and you come around the left flipper, nail the TIE Fighter, that's the TIE Fighter skill shot. And then the most basic skill shot, if you blow the Jedi skill shot, you can still move the light and get to the old traditional, Willy skill shot.
Top lanes.
Right? Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So let's see if I can do a Jedi skill shot.
There we go. No pressure. Hey,
No.
welcome.
Oh.
Hey, that's all right. Good try.
Too late. And of course,
Welcome, everybody in the chat. George Gomez is here, and he's demoing Star Wars The Pin with us. We are going to be playing a little 4-player action tonight.
One thing about this, so I don't know if you noticed, but that's essentially two pop bumpers, or two coil drives driving all 3 pop bumpers.
2 coil
Right.
drives
So
driving all 3
two of the
pops.
bumpers, actuate simultaneously. Most people can't tell the difference until I tell them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or unless they're paying attention, right away people think that, oh, there's a bad switch, right? Because that's
Sure.
how,
Right. Yeah.
that's how pop bumpers would react, right? So, who's up? Because I basically.
Let's just go this way, right?
That works.
So
So counter?
Yeah. You
We'll
want to go
counter.
next, Steve?
Yep.
So the first shot you make, the first rebel shot you make is basically going to enable that rebel, and so if you make a Luke shot, you're going to have Luke lit.
Sure.
To light additional rebels, you gotta spell force.
You gotta spell force.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you can work that one rebel, and if while you're working that rebel, you manage to light force, it'll give you 2 rebels.
Very cool. All right, I'm gonna do the same and go for.
What's up, Carrie Hardy? Carrie Hardy. What's up, Scott Denisi? What's up, Sicky Sour?
I like
What's up,
that
42
one,
Gits?
Everybody's in
Krista
chat tonight.
Pinturn, thanks for
Save
the
that.
bits. Carrie Hardy, thanks for the bits. Good times tonight.
And then, of course, I left your ball in the lock, so you can steal my lock.
Oh,
and
right
take-
on.
Lock stealing.
Start R2,
What?
R2 multi-ball.
There we go.
So do it. There you go.
Hey now. Sorry,
And
George.
then you hit that target, which added a ball.
Gotcha.
So we're watching George Gomez walk us through Star Wars Pin. For those of you just joining us here on Monday Night Pinball.
So again, remember that this is a novice. This game is intended to teach a novice how to play pinball.
Yeah.
So things like an easy multi-ball, making it easy to blow up the Death Star, a toy that everybody can get to in that TIE fighter.
Right.
That's by design.
Right.
What
Right.
kind of pinball?
Well, it's keeping everybody engaged.
Might make us look halfway decent.
I think this will make us look a
Potentially.
lot better
This
than
is
the
the
other
one
one.
we pull out.
Yeah.
You've got R2, and now you need to
Like,
you
look at
need
that
to
Death
make,
Star
like,
done blowing up.
Start working force
Start
in order
working
to
in
light.
force,
Yeah, in
okay.
order to light.
Scott Denisi does
There
not
you
like
go.
lock stealing, he says. Hey, Desert One says, thanks for coming out, George.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Oh, look at
There we
that.
go. I love it. Love it.
You can actually lock 2 there and leave 2 there.
Wow.
So one of the things about this is any reflection will get you there. So if you have it on this flipper, try to get that rubber and up to the targets and come back. You can do that.
Say what?
In other words, you can
Okay.
you can do this.
Like kind of try.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And of course,
look at
Where's your orange drink? It's being asked here in chat.
So your slings are on the double.
the slings are
Two.
tied together. The entire thing uses 8 coil drives. So,
Wow.
So the slings are tied together and 2 of the pop bumpers are tied together. And that's what that's about.
Have no fear.
That looks different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started early tonight. Started early tonight. Hey, what's up, Ryan? How are you, man?
Lord Helmet, it's a Starbucks because I needed a little bit of caffeine today. It was a long
Hey, was
day.
that a
Oh, you
little
left,
danger zone there,
Yeah,
huh?
I got a
Yeah, you left somebody.
for you. I
left
like
somebody
that.
there.
Easy.
Yeah.
You left it for Ken to steal.
That's good stuff.
Adam, George does have a mic. He'll sit in a few minutes.
All right, guys, this is my first time playing, and this thing plays great.
Yeah.
It plays
looks
great.
Like dude, it looks like it shoots like a champ, dude. Nice. So Ken just got this TIE Fighter skill shot.
Yeah, which is actually kind of tough.
Yeah.
He makes us all look good. So he makes us. At the end of the night, when we're missing all the challenges, he's the one that kind of. He's our
Gets
ringer.
you there?
Yeah.
Brings it all home.
He's our anchor for bowling and pinball.
That is not correct.
Whenever Bill's playing, though, make sure you say his name
Yeah, real loud.
multiple
too.
times,
Yeah.
real loud. He plays the best.
I'm so used to playing at home though, in a basement when no one's there. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
So.
Chris the Pin-Turn asks, will this be at Expo, George?
Yes, it will be.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of them there.
Dennis Friedel in the house.
Hey, what's up, Dennis?
What up?
Zach likes the spinner sound. Spinner sounds are huge.
Yeah, you know,
It's like such an appealing thing.
I had such fun with the Deadpool spinner.
Yeah.
That when we were doing this,
Yep.
I said, hey, we got to do another spinner sound.
Yeah.
Having the disco multi-ball with that spinner on Deadpool is killer.
Feels,
Yeah.
very old school.
Oh, it's awesome. You know my thoughts on Deadpool. I've been driving the Deadpool train for a long, long time.
It's my current game I'm addicted to.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
it's a great game. We got a couple of your games down here tonight. Actually, now that I look at the lineup,
Yeah, you got a Lord of the Rings and you got a Monster Bash.
what are your thoughts on like a game that you designed being redone by another manufacturer? Does that blow your mind a little bit? Or?
It does. I never imagined, right, when we did that game, I never imagined that we were ever going to see him, again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Gives another generation a chance to enjoy
Exactly,
something,
yep,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
42 Gits is looking forward to Expo. What kind of setup will Stern be setting up this year? You're teaming up with Marco, right, for like a big.
Yeah, I mean,
booth?
we're gonna have a big, big Elvira party for sure.
That is gonna be fun.
Halloween
Yep.
party,
Yeah.
and then of course, we'll have the entire lineup. So we'll have a bunch of Jurassics. We'll have some premiums probably on the floor.
Yep.
And we'll have, and of course the pin. We'll have some Munsters. I mean. We may even have some, we may even have some Ghostbusters with that new code.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's exciting that code was such a huge change to the pin.
Man, it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
Those
it sounds
guys-
like it.
You know, right?
It's like-
Dwight needs a vacation now, right? Just take a couple days off.
And, Tanya did a lot of
Yeah,
heavy
I know,
lifting.
I know.
A lot of heavy lifting.
Yep.
So,
That's like that's interesting to say that because the lead programmer obviously gets a lot of the credit because their name is on it, but there's a big support staff behind there that does a lot of the legwork too. So.
And it's like, we know a lot of times we know we got to fix stuff, and we're trying to stay alive just like everybody else, right? We make the business makes decisions, and by nature of what it is.
Yep.
And
Understandable.
But we want, we're passionate about the games. They're our games. We want them to be right. So
that's good. It's exciting. You never know when a code update's going to come get you.
Absolutely.
I mean, you never do know.
Yeah, we do, and we have a lot of interesting stuff going on. Mostly new stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys, I mean, I'm very proud of the studio. I'm very proud of the role we've been in.
Sure.
And guys are having a lot of fun making games, and it clearly shows, right?
Oh, definitely shows.
Look at that. I mean, the string of hits is like,
You're going to end up outgrowing the new place. You're going to need a satellite
Right
factory.
when they get settled
we
in.
have outgrown it.
I know. You've been out of
boy.
Melrose Park for, it seems like a few years, and now here you are.
We have
It's like-
absolutely outgrown it.
that's amazing. It's amazing.
There's guys that do, we have guys do long-term planning, right? And that's the kind of stuff they're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, what do we do? So,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You ready to show us how it's done here? On Are we back up?
I get something back up.
Here we go. The master here.
Did you leave me something? I don't know about the master.
Yeah, what do we got
master.
there? Any lock balls? No lock balls.
Hey, Dr. John, thanks for the resub. Tier 1 4 months.
Nice, dude.
Dr. John from Australia says hello all and hello George. Good
Hello.
times.
Dr. John.
Desert One says my Ghostbusters is ready and waiting for the update. Really looking forward to that dropping. It looks like a huge effort was put into it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Siggy Sour. Any interest in more vintage style games like Bonelli for beginners and older folks? We'll ask George that when he comes back. He gave that pin an old slap right there.
Like it
Right.
owed it money.
You can beat it like it's a commercial unit, so that's for sure. It's withstanding it.
That's what I get. That's what I get for not setting a tilt on the one in my office.
Amoto Harney says, hello from San Francisco. Was just talking about this pin. She's excited that we're streaming it, so we're excited to be streaming it too. It seems like there's general interest in seeing this stream. So I know when it was debuted, I think Jack Danger streamed it. Where was that?
That was at Comic-Con.
Comic-Con,
That's where we debuted it.
Yeah, okay.
And, but the Comic-Con scenario is different, right? Because just because of what Comic-Con is. So you can't do an in-depth stream relative to it. I mean,
Right.
it's just
It's mayhem there.
It's a different audience.
Yeah, the floor is just nuts. So
What was the thought process when you knew? I mean, when did you know that Star Wars was going to be the title that was going to get this new model? I mean, was it just because of the popularity and all the assets that you had?
Yeah, we knew right away. I mean, I think that it's not a stretch to imagine that the pin titles are going to leverage assets from the big games, right?
Right.
They're not always going to be this playfield, right? I've gotten a lot of mileage out of derivatives of this playfield
Absolutely. Yep.
and derivatives of this rule set, right? This playfield and rule set originally was from the original Spidey, which was by design sort of intended to be a very small run to help us understand the market,
Yeah.
the price point, how we would sell it, all this kind of stuff. So we purposely a very small run. And so we did that, and then when Supreme approached us, we had no time to develop a game, so we packaged up the Spidey as the Supreme.
Right.
I did evolve it, so it's like everybody says it's the same playfield, and it's like if I showed you all three drawings and I overlaid
Overlap
them all,
the CAD? Yeah.
they're all different.
It's
I moved. Every time I evolved them.
Well, in this one, in general, I think you said just there hardly anything was left
nothing.
in the same place.
Nothing's in the
it's
same
just-
place.
Right.
I mean, it's like it takes advantage of. I did have the code base in mind when I designed it, right?
Okay.
And there were some things that sort of fit, right? There were 4 characters in Spider-Man. There's 4 characters in Star Wars.
Sure.
So there's some things that fit, and my partner on this was Dean Grover, and Dean was the coder on all of those products.
Okay.
Right. So we said let's take the basic code base, which was. The Supremes, if you've ever played one, they're incredibly fun. And
I've never played a Supreme.
I haven't found one on location yet.
Maybe we'll stream one.
I did find a Munsters Premium on location in Hoffman Estates, though.
Yeah.
Garibaldi.
Yeah.
Well, so the Supremes, I mean, the response was so positive to the way the thing played, and the ones that we know on location earn a lot of money. So we said, hey, you know what? Let's kind of let's build on that.
Yeah.
Like I said about the Death Star, I really wanted a more accessible Death Star.
Yep.
And I wanted the show to be a bigger deal.
Well, it's nice too because I mean you can get into a multi-ball fairly quickly if you want to, and I think for somebody that's walking up to a machine, there's nothing more thrilling than seeing more than one ball on the playfield at one time. I mean that's impactful. It leaves an impression.
Little kids, I want to catch. You know, I want someone to take this home. I want little kids to play it. I want them to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I was younger, I used to play T2 down the street. And T2, you know, hit the skull twice and make sure you hit one shot and you got multi-ball and, hey, I'm a winner.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Very fun game, guys.
Oh, yeah. Now, this is a little bigger than the Transformers, the pin, right?
Yeah, those were completely different. Those were really small.
Okay.
This is a full-size playfield. It's all like standard. Like, I mean, that bottom is my standard bottom. It's pretty much a Deadpool bottom. You know, there's nothing different about it.
Yeah.
The wall on the bottom arch is a little closer to the flippers on this than it is on a big game.
Okay.
But that's because on this game you don't have to worry about. It's not going to earn money. It's not about earning money, so you don't have to worry about those bang backs and stuff like that.
Yep.
So.
Well, that's nice too because the coin door is a little.
Yeah, I mean, the coin door is really just a functional accessibility thing.
Yeah, it's just a switch panel.
And there's people that say, oh, you know, it needs a coin door because it's a pinball machine. You know, so
That is a really nice spinner sound.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And the spinner's fast.
So I'm getting caught up in chat here. I don't know if you got a chance to read any of this, George.
I have not.
Sidekick Pinballer asked a question. I don't know.
Okay, let's see where is it.
It's in pink underneath 42 Gits.
Sidekick pinballer. Martin Robbins brought up an interesting point for Elvira. Did Stern leverage any mechanics from Batman 66? Not really. No.
I didn't think you would, but I didn't want to answer that, and then find out I'm wrong. So.
No. I mean, there's really I can't think of anything from Batman 66 that's.
No. I didn't see a crane in the virus, so.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord Helmet.
Wow, that was horrible.
Yeah, the blank coin door definitely looks a lot more streamlined.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for what you get in this game, though, I mean, that's insane.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's that everybody has to have everybody. It's got to be a business for everybody, right? The dealers and distributors have to make money also, and we have to, and we also have to make money. So it's like
Well, yeah.
It has it's got a Spike 2 system in it. It's got it's
not cheap.
No, it's got Stern it's got Stern stuff in it. So
Oh, yeah.
It's,
All that stuff costs money between the Transformers,
license.
the boards.
Yeah.
None of that stuff ever comes cheap. I mean, it is for definitely a different
Feels like
market.
a full-fledged game.
Oh, yeah.
First time playing it.
Well, here,
it's
really
lighting
digging
it
it.
up.
like I said, he's our boat anchor.
Hey.
So the one thing is, R2D2 multi-ball, we were getting a lot of R2D2 multi-balls, so we decided that whenever you have a ball in the lock and you've started one of the other multi-balls,
Okay.
we don't start R2D2.
Okay.
That ball just contributes to the multi-ball that you're
Gotcha.
in. So
Okay.
if you're in Death Star multi-ball and you have a ball in the lock, you free that ball as a function of Death Star multi-ball. You now have 4 balls on the playfield on Death Star multi-ball.
Yeah.
This game flows.
Yeah,
does.
it's
It's
like, you can actually, I mean, it feels great if you can hook 2 shots together. It feels awesome.
No, you're right. You're right, and it's quick. And I remember, like in the original Star Wars, Stern Star Wars, like you have that quick little interloop that Steve Ritchie kind of had. I mean, I kind of get a feel for that on the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
I like
yeah.
it. Good times.
Comes back quick right there.
When is the next home
Boom.
pin? Someone's asking. Sidekick pinball.
Probably next year you'll see something.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, you'll see. I don't know. You'll have to imagine what title it could be.
Yeah, hey, man, whatever works.
There's
You think we'll see and not to get off topic, but I mean, so Sea Witch was kind of transformed into a new Beatles. You think we'll see another older pin that gets a new facelift, so to speak?
The biggest issue the biggest issue with those old games is the cost of some of those parts, right? Like drop targets.
Yeah,
Drop target assemblies are some of the most expensive things we put on a game, right? So when you have a game with a bunch of drop targets and a motor and a spinner and this and that and the other thing, and it adds up quick.
Sure.
And the problem is that everybody tells us that they don't want to pay that kind of money for something like that. So that's where we run into that problem, right? In the case of the Beatles, we also had we had that license wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, putting 9 Beatles songs in a game.
It's just Beatles. It's not like they're anything.
I mean, it's
big,
expensive, right? So
it's like,
that's the challenge.
Yeah.
But I mean, we would love. We've talked a lot about a Stern Classics line. The biggest issue is that. I don't think people want to pay, they say, well, it's got to cost less than a Pro. Well, if it's got to cost less than a Pro, we're challenged because all those games have drop target.
It's not going to cost you less than a Pro to build.
Like,
I think a lot of people would try to think, well, I mean, okay, so the design's already there. You don't need the R&D anymore. But I mean, it's not because you're making physical changes to the playfield, right?
Yeah, and the devices we have today are different than the devices back then. And honestly, if you've played a Beatles, I don't know if anybody's played a Beatles.
Yeah. We love the Beatles.
I'm not blowing my own horn here, but I improved on what he did in that game, right?
Yep.
I mean, you can make some of those shots from the bottom that you couldn't in his original game, right? And so I basically did the same thing anybody would do, right? And I was like, here's another bite at the apple. Let's fix the stuff we don't like.
Yeah. It makes sense,
right?
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of guys. I had Zach and I had Keith and a bunch of like serious shooters come in and I said, okay, guys, you guys are intimately familiar with Sea Witch. What should I fix? And they just gave me a laundry.
I didn't get a call on that, George. I don't know what happened.
They gave me a laundry list.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, all right, I think I can do that. And then all the way along, they came in and shot Whitewoods, right?
Yeah.
So it's like hey, what do you think about this? Oh, yeah, no, not easy. It's still too hard. Okay, all right. So if you look at that game, and it's same thing. If I gave you the CAD for that game and I gave you the CAD for Sea Witch, you'd find that I moved everything.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, because you move one
Very
thing and then geometrically everything else
absolutely.
is
and parts are different, right? I mean, the stuff we use today is different than.
It's like moving the flippers on Ghostbusters in eighth of an inch, right? It's no problem.
Yeah, I wish we could. I might actually be able to play that game.
Yeah. Too early. My Williams 1371. Thanks for the follow. Good times. Are we back up? Ball 3 here, George?
Really?
Are you? I think so.
I believe so.
Ready to rock it out? And we'll get caught up in the chat here, guys. So
Sorry, guys, we're getting caught up.
I'm in conversation,
talking, yeah.
and I'm forgetting that we
You
have.
guys leaving nothing, right?
Right. Hey, that's by design.
Sorry.
Collectively, we might be able to take you down here, George. All right, good times. So, as a Beatles owner, I disagree. It should cost less than a Pro. It's an awesome game, says Chrome Candy Pinball. 42 gets, I play the crap out of my Ghostbusters. I think it's fun. I really like Ghostbusters.
I
The
love
new code is
Ghostbusters.
killer.
Oh man, what is up with that? I barely touched it.
Oh, no. Let's flash those pin quest challenges again. Now, George,
Any minute now, I'm gonna open that coin door and see what's going on there.
have we hit
Go
any
for
of
it.
these
Seriously.
yet? We
right.
didn't hit the Jedi skill shot.
We've hit Jedi skill shot a bunch of times.
We did hit Jedi skill
did,
shot.
yeah.
Okay, so that's great. So that's 500 bits.
Yeah.
The Death Star's still out there.
Yeah, Death
Right.
Star, and actually that's what I was gonna work. I was just gonna take the Death Star.
Take the
because
Death Star down?
It's pretty easy, but
I was close.
Yeah.
Combos start all multi-balls. So how many multi-balls are in the pin?
So there are So there's a TIE Fighter multi-ball, Death Star multi-ball. There's a Jedi multi-ball if you get all the characters. Let's see, and an R2D2 multi-ball.
So there's 4 multi-balls.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is a 4-ball game, so you
Right.
can have 4 balls
Yep.
playfield.
You can add a ball on the R2s.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and then like I said, if you're working any of the other multi-balls and you have a ball locked in the R2 lock, it basically just gets added to your multi-ball.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you can stack multi-balls.
Yeah, you can, except for, like I said, the R2 one it was happening so often that we decided, we got to turn the dial
Yeah,
back
no,
on it.
I got it. You're always a
and
multi-ball.
The problem is that when you have a physical, that lock is pretty cool. That physical lock.
Yeah.
The problem is that you have no control of the physical lock.
Exactly.
As, you know, in other words, in code, we have no control of the physical lock. All we know is there's a ball there or it's not.
Yeah.
So we can't prevent the ball from from going in there. So. Man, it's Tilt City over here.
Well, we earned one of the challenges, Pink Quest challenges. So the Jedi skill shot is locked in. Let's see if we can take
tilt
that
5
Death
times.
Star.
See, I'm not a tilter, so dude,
Yeah.
I haven't set that off once yet. But I don't believe in shaking games. So
yeah. And like I said, I'm going to run back to the one in my office and set the
blow it
tilt.
up.
Set the tilt.
Well, Steve over here, every once in a while, we'll catch him dancing with the machine if the tilt's not on. You know, so
Yeah, you need that tilt on when I'm around.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just keep working those drop tracks. Go in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll dance with him. Bill will just straight up turn it off.
oh yeah,
Middle of a game. Just boop.
yep.
Oh my God.
Fun game though, guys.
See, I'm shaking it. It's not.
Wubble wubble.
Desert games, yeah, there are some tight tilts in this basement.
Yeah.
I'm gentle.
Geekward Games, bring back Lord of the Rings for those of us who missed it. Obviously, you know, feel
Well, you're here to
Nah,
announce
we're
the
good,
Vault
we're good.
Edition
We're
Lord of the
good.
Rings
Yeah,
tonight,
sure.
right, George?
Let's
Heard
see.
it here, folks. First,
Yeah.
folks.
Right,
Thought
exactly.
of splitting this theme on a future release in a cornerstone. What I mean is have a version done in Rebel artwork, maybe another version in Imperial artwork. Interesting concept. I'll tell you that. I will say that to you. Interesting concept.
So kind of like Transformers had
Yeah.
kind of different.
Very interesting
Yeah.
concept,
Right.
right? And we did it with X-Men also, right? We had a Wolverine and a Magneto.
Yep.
Right,
Yep,
right,
yep.
right.
Yeah. So and then Transformers had the Autobots and Decepticons.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And then a combined version. So yeah, it's a great concept.
Star Wars lends itself well to
It
something
does. It
similar.
sure does. It
Yeah.
sure does.
Big time.
You never know. You might see something like that one day.
Oh, see,
You never know.
he's dangling
Ideas
the
are
carrot a little
flowing.
bit.
You never know.
Sidekick Pinballer is asking George, how many pinball machines are in development today at Stern?
Right. So a bunch.
More than one.
So there are 4 cornerstone teams. Even though we only do 3 a year, there's 4 teams
Right,
working
yeah.
on cornerstones, and then of course we do things like Elvira, which are basically we call that a studio game.
Studio game.
Yeah, and then
That's kind of the first time I heard the term studio game.
yeah, we honestly Batman was supposed to be a studio game only because the
Right.
license came in from the outside.
That
but
was
the reality,
Kapow.
yeah, but the reality is that the work was done inside. But yeah, studio games, and then we do we do private label games. So
Okay, yep.
like a brand will approach us and say we want to do. And then, of course, these things will at some point. Right now, I'm the dad of this, but I mean, at some point, it's like if this becomes, if the demand for this grows the way we anticipate it's going
Sure.
to, there'll be a team dedicated to this
For this
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah,
Okay.
there'll be guys working on basically pins. Every
Yeah.
year we're gonna do X number of pins, and so yeah.
Awesome. And in this particular game, too, you said there's a lot of add-on accessories that'll be available.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So we did. You can buy. We did a truly sound engineered speaker package for it.
Right.
And it all plugs and plays. All the connectors are there already when you get your game, and so you'll be able to drop all that stuff in. All you got to just bolt it in, and it puts. Right now, the game ships with a single speaker.
So
And
those add-on accessories are not meant to have huge technical prowess as far as pinball goes.
No,
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
for the average consumer
yeah,
that just
you-
wants to add on to their game.
Yeah, you still need to screw them all together, but
Screwdriver, most people can handle.
Yeah.
Right. You're not
So-
soldering anything
Most
in.
people have at least a screwdriver.
Level 1.
No, so there's a speaker set. There's a Millennium Falcon that goes by the Millennium Falcon ramp.
Yep.
It's the Millennium Falcon from the commercial games with the with the lights
And
in
is
the back.
that's illuminated, right? The back.
the back illuminates, and the connectors
Awesome.
are there.
Yep.
So you just it screws in and you plug it in.
And the pin was designed with that in mind. It wasn't like an afterthought.
Right,
So
right.
it's already pre-ready to kind of go in there.
Yep. There's the Stormtrooper head, which basically you unscrew the Rebel logo
On the
knob
shooter?
and on the shooter,
Yeah.
and then you.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys noticed
that's
that.
nice, just to be able to unscrew a
Yep.
shooter.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that
Place the
shooter?
whole round.
Yeah,
that
it's like
shooter is,
all
it's
comes
so
out in
it's
one single housing.
associated to the playfield. It's bolted to the playfield. Zero adjustment.
It's
right?
interesting.
And the game ships, gets to the location. Guess what? It's perfectly adjusted
Yep.
because it's always registered to the playfield.
It never gets out of alignment.
Right.
So
So we love that, and this platform ends up being a great proving ground because if we see something that we like in this platform, it might migrate to the big games, right?
Right.
You also
Yeah.
saw the rails instead of the machine shooter groove, right, to protect the shooter
shooting lane,
groove,
yeah.
right? Because the shooter groove, we see all the complaints, our own games.
Right, it's a vulnerable spot.
Yeah, hard code
of the first things I
eventually
noticed.
chips and wears away, and you get that black spot right from the steel.
Yep.
And so imagine that, right? It works great.
Yeah.
And and if we did it on the commercial games, we'd make it so that they were totally replaceable, right? So
yeah.
Attack from Mark. Mark cheered 100 bits. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
So yeah, there's that. There's art blades for it, and then if we ever see the fabled R2 topper, it plugs and plays.
Uh-oh.
All the code is there. And so
And we're going to be giving away 2 of those tonight. Just kidding. Let's do another 4-player game. We'll keep it going.
Yeah, let's do it.
You got time for another game?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm having fun. You
we
want to
got
keep the rotation?
Come on,
or?
somebody's got to blow up the Death
Yeah,
Star.
we're going to blow it up. We're blowing that Death Star up.
I can't talk and play pinball at the same time.
Well, don't. Yeah, Bill
You wanna
doesn't
keep
like
the same
it.
order?
We can keep the same order,
Okay.
or we
Yeah,
can
that's
reverse
fine.
order.
All right,
I can start off and we come
yeah,
this way.
why don't you
Okay.
do it?
Yeah.
You know what? The one thing I do have to say is last night I was putting in art blades in Jurassic Park Pro.
All good.
Yep.
And there was 2 connectors, playfield, 2 connectors and a cable.
Yeah.
Came right out. I was like, wow.
So this is the same
Boom.
way. This is the same way.
Anyone in the free world could do art blades now.
This playfield is fairly light.
Yeah.
So you basically it comes right out and it lifts up just like the other games.
Yeah. Well, it's not like doing yanking the playfield on some of the old Williams stuff where you
No,
had
you have
100
to,
connectors.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I told the wife, give me a couple hours downstairs. I got to throw my blades in, my pin stadiums, and some other
Right.
add-ons. An hour later, I'm like,
Right.
what do I do now? I can't go upstairs. I mean, I got free time now.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to really look hard to plug my Willy games back together.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tell me one
Nice.
of those was a Monster Bash or something you designed. You're like, I designed this thing. This thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
like
know where it goes.
Where does
well,
this go?
It's just that you've done it so many times that it's and I thought to myself, I've only done this like 1,000,000 times. It's like,
Right?
how do I not remember where this goes?
Well,
Love
and,
it.
and some of the innovations that you've been a part of over time. People keep chiming in with Pinball 2000.
Yeah.
Just the story of you and Pat building that in the garage.
Yep.
And I mean, so you're not a novice when it comes to this stuff. So
No, I've done a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get caught up in chat here.
Yeah, right in the book.
All right, it looks like he's in Death Star multi-ball. He just has to get when he gets down to 1 ball, he'll start that timer, and there it is. Okay, all right, you're Luke in the trench. Oh, there it is. Makes it look easy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by, George.
Thanks, everybody.
I'll see you later.
All right, so back in chat here. Let's see here. What do we want to jump in? All right, so our buddy Kerry Hardy asked a question. What is the most challenging part of your job at Stern?
Wow, it's really keeping all the plates in the air. I mean, really, it's like my days are pretty insane, right? It's like, sort of like keeping the design teams kind of on track, fixing their problems, trying to help them do their jobs, and dealing with like some of the strategy stuff on a company. Where's the company going? Big, like sort of big picture stuff that is like down the road, doesn't really relate to a particular game or theme, but like sort of background to what we want to be when we grow up, kind of thing. So it's a lot of stuff, and then of course there's production problems, right? There's all kinds of issues that are the nature of the business. Like stuff goes wrong, you didn't plan it, you got to solve a problem, and so
Well, and a lot of the problems today are not the problems that they were 20 years ago.
No, I mean the product. First of all, the product's really a lot more complex.
Yeah.
And so we put a lot. We put a lot more depth in the games. The development cycles are more complicated. Just the addition of the LCD, right? I mean, you guys have had Chuck here.
Oh yeah.
I hope he talked a little bit about his
for sure.
challenges,
Yes. Yep.
right?
Yep.
So.
Especially when he's trying to tell Steve Ritchie what he doesn't want in animations, and then Steve Ritchie automatically wants what Chuck doesn't want to have to animate. So it's
right.
fun times.
It's like, so those kinds of things, it's like I've tried to surround myself with really strong leaders. It really helps me do my job, right?
Yep.
And they take some amount of the pressure. And then at the end of the day, they know that if they lock horns, then I'm gonna have to go in there and make a decision one way or the other, right? So it's a fun job. It's a lot of work.
It's not an 8 to 5, 9 to 5.
No, it's not.
Is this is this your dream job? Is there something else if you weren't in pinball that you would find yourself doing?
I can't imagine, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I really don't know. I've been in this so long. It's in my blood, and my days are just really long and full.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
kind
I
of.
get it.
People tell me that they say
You should see the life of a streamer, George. Oh.
someday. They say someday you're gonna miss this. And
Yeah.
I'm like someday. They tell me that on a day when my world is just freaking
On fire.
insane.
Pipe
you
Cat
know?
Red Eye, thanks for 1,000 bits, buddy.
Like, really? I'm going to
Thank
miss
you.
this insanity?
Hey, but that's
it's-
what keeps you going, though.
Yeah. it
All those
does.
fires.
The resurgence is so exciting right now, though, too, because it's like nothing ceases to amaze me. Like when something comes out, something immediately follows, and there's just this cadence of just content that's being provided by people all over the place. It's a fun time to be involved.
Yeah,
Great time.
We're trying really hard. We're working our asses off, but it's all good.
No,
You show
yeah.
in the product.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
Boogeyman,
Definitely
thank
can.
you for the 400 bits. You want to take a player 3 here, George?
Sure.
Let's see you.
Well, you got the Death Star.
We
I
did
think,
get the
right?
Death Star, right?
All right.
So,
Death Star.
Was that an R2 or did you get the Death Star?
oh, was it R2? Maybe
Oh,
it was
might have been
R2.
I
R2.
wasn't paying attention. It looked like
Did anybody see a Death Star explode? Because when I looked up at the screen, I didn't see it. I just thought I crushed it. Maybe not. Appreciate the bits, guys.
Yeah, thank you
Captain
very
Red
much,
Eye,
guys.
Pirate Captain Red Eye, and Boogeyman. Thank you so much.
Sorry, we're trying to keep up with chat too, but there's just so much that we're trying to cover. So
Yeah.
it's
A
not
lot
that we're
of
trying to ignore
conversation
guys. It's just a
For sure.
crazy
Right.
day, with questions and.
For those that might have just tuned in, we're streaming Star Wars Pin, which is the kind of the home edition version of Star Wars, and streaming it with us tonight is Mr. George Gomez from Stern Pinball. So
playing like shit.
no, it's what
Yeah,
happens
buddy.
down here. we do not play well on stream.
Something with Ken's basement.
It
Everybody
is.
just plays.
So we're
extra
getting
shitty.
everything's getting out of the basement. We're in transition period. There's bad luck down here in pinball. I don't understand.
Right.
As long as the machines aren't breaking, that hasn't
Oh,
happened. So we're
Ball
good.
save. Nice.
It was R2 multi-ball.
It was
I
R2?
guess. All
Okay.
It was
so,
R2.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dwight? Zachary, I imagine that might be Dwight Sullivan.
Yeah.
Dwight's in here.
Dwight up in here.
Dwight's up in here. Congratulations on your Ghostbusters update, man,
Yeah, buddy.
and Game of Thrones. Killing it. Yep, it's
he's-
Dwight.
Dwight's been a little
And
busy.
Dwight's been a little busy, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
And he's working on his next thing, So
Well, when can we expect the Star Wars code update, Dwight? I'm just kidding. Ooh.
right
Oh.
down the middle.
Bill, just a little.
No.
Hey, it's okay.
Just a little one.
I saw George beat the hell out of this game, and it took it, so go for it. Oh, it's me now, huh?
It is you. It is me. Yeah, Dwight doesn't seem to ever take a minute, man. Every time you talk to him, he's leaving work at 9 o'clock or going in on Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Hardy wants to know if we can anticipate more sequels to games of the past. Probably not anytime soon. Yeah, probably not anytime soon.
You guys playing so far in advance.
Yeah, we are. We definitely we know what we're doing. Like I think probably through 21.
Wow.
So
Hey, if I get a vote though, I would love to see a Getaway 3. Just saying.
Bill's vote. Getaway 3.
I know. I might not be the popular vote on that one, but that's okay. I'll take that. All right, so getting caught up here in chat.
Yep. Arcade Master, thanks for subscribing with Twitch Prime.
Thank you, Arcade Master. Creepy Tom asked a question. I don't know if you wanted to.
Let's see.
Can you address it?
What was it?
Where we
Any
at?
Kapow titles?
Oh,
Maybe. I don't know. You know, maybe. You got it?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
Death Star is done.
nice little light show there too.
And we can leave that right there, so we don't have to address it
10
anymore.
competition perfect team pins with a team of coders constantly supporting them in order to grow spectator pinball with the unthemed, unbranded madness. Don't hold your breath.
and that is Dennis Kriesel of the Eclectic Gamers podcast, and occasionally he co-hosts This Week in Pinball podcast too.
Right.
So
So I know you're a big listener of podcasts. I'm just kidding, George. I have no idea if you listen to the podcast.
I think I listen when like some of my guys are on.
Yeah.
I do.
Did you listen to ours when you were on?
Yes, I did.
There we go.
Yes, I did.
George Gomez, official listener of Special Olympic Pinball Podcast.
Will I design any more cornerstones? Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
man, they're just trying to pull everything out of you tonight,
Yeah.
huh?
So, your
All
last
right,
cornerstone.
Here's another one.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, my last cornerstone was Deadpool. Yep. And,
Katana shot, one of the most fun freaking
yeah, I had a
shots
good time.
and locks
Good time
on that
with
game.
that. I had a good time with that. I had a good time with the snick shot.
The snick
You know?
shot
Yeah.
is so this is the thing, like a lot of people think it's impossible, but if you just concentrate on that shot and
Oh,
you get
no,
it down, you can
seriously,
get that
I
multiplier
do it all
up.
the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like
Game's got to be set up properly though, because if you're
yeah,
off,
but it's not even that. You know,
Right.
it's not even that finicky.
right,
It's just
you just dial in the shot.
yeah. All right. That star is no more.
Death Star's crushed. So we've got another
Yeah,
another
so you got
pin
another
quest
one.
down.
Yeah, all right.
2 of 5, not bad right now.
Jobberge, I like your question. I don't think I'm going to ask that though.
Deadpool's a great game, says Chrome Candy Pinball.
Yeah, I like it.
No, but Batman is wildly popular.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Batman. I mean,
Batman 66.
you know,
I mean,
it's that Lyman magic, right?
Is that what it
It's
is?
that- I think so. Yeah.
Little
I mean,
Lyman
I
magic?
think that. You know, I think I think it's like his magnum opus. I mean, it's like, you know.
Thank you, PinQuest, for the 500 bits for the Death Star.
Well, and you guys
Challenge.
did that game in like
Thank
record
you.
time too, right?
Yeah, we were stressed on that. It wasn't that one. That one was not as much fun as Deadpool.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work in a very short period of time, and with a lot of pressure on all of us. It from different places. So you know, I mean, it just kind of. It was not something I want to repeat anytime soon.
Yeah,
Even though the game came out like amazing, you know.
Well, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that the artwork was like done like a month or something before, and literally before you guys showed those games.
I hated it, and so
you hated the game or the artwork?
No, I hated the artwork, and that's how we found Mr. That's how we found Mr. Franchi.
Oh, okay.
Because we basically the artwork was like in I just couldn't I said I'm sorry we just can't ship this. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
so like Greg and I online, like searching for like somebody that could be the Batman artist, and we stumbled on some of his work, and then
On Fiverr?
moved quickly. We moved quickly.
Yeah. So
And,
Chris works pretty fast. I mean, he bangs
Yeah,
out.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he had a bunch of that stuff kind of from previous work that he had done.
Yeah,
so
sure, yeah.
He knew the brand really well. He could bring a lot of power to bear quickly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's but yeah, I wasn't that, like you said. I don't know if it was a month out. It was probably a couple of months out, but it was not. It was a bad direction.
Well, I just heard the stories that you guys were putting the decals on like days before Expo when you guys were going to show it, and I was like, wow, you'd have to be pulling your hair out to be on that under that.
Oh
kinda.
yeah, no, I mean the Expo crunch was insane.
Was real.
Yeah.
Hey, and you're going to bring another game to Expo this year, too, with Elvira, which is going to be
that one
pretty
is much further along
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Batman was.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Not so
Yeah.
much of a crunch this
Right,
time.
right. I actually, we're
Looking forward to it,
and we're gonna stream that this week.
Yes,
we're
you
gonna-
are,
we're gonna
right.
Stream it
Is that
probably
Wednesday
or
Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
25th, 7 o'clock.
Right.
Dead Flip.
Yep, Dead
Yep.
Flip. Check it out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the game is it's pretty cool. It's the Elvira you imagine it is.
I'm a big
Awesome.
Elvira fan. I'm a big
Yeah.
Greg Ferreras fan too.
We'll be
so
tuning in.
We will be tuning in, and
Yeah.
at some point we'll have that pin here, I'm sure. So we'll stream it.
Yeah, I mean, Greg really outdid himself.
Yeah.
And Lyman, is coding the thing. So I mean, that's a
It's exciting.
yeah.
It's like everything's converging.
Yeah.
You ready for your ball?
Is that me again?
It's
I
you.
think it's you.
You're good. We'll finish this game and then we could take a couple calls and
Yeah.
get Mr. Gomez on his way here. So we are.
Yeah, and Lord Helmet, I saw your question about asking what George's background was. So when he jumps back on the mic, feel free to message that again because any questions we can answer, let's get them answered. So
Hey, Taco
Taco
Pizza!
Pizza.
He gets themselves all over the place.
Gifted, man.
Thanks,
Wow,
Taco
thank you,
Pizza,
brother.
Nicely done.
Making me hungry. Cheers.
I love Taco Pizza.
Me too.
What we'll do too is for those of you that want to come in and actually you can call and talk to George on the phone. And for after hours though tonight, again, this is going to be an abbreviated stream. We're not going to run too late. But when you call in, have your question ready and let's ask it to George and have a little back and forth and let's get to another caller. Let's try to work quickly tonight so we can get as many people in before George has to hightail out because he's got a pretty long ride home.
yeah, we don't want to keep him forever. We're just grateful that he made it out and
Absolutely.
We
He
got- does it-
literally drove the opposite way to his house
Yeah.
by a
to
lot.
get here. Yeah, from
By
his
a
house.
lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Kaz? How are you? What's
What's
going on?
How's?
And we've got a little bit of everybody in chat tonight. We've got
That's a full house.
Zach Betty
Yeah.
from Flip N Out and Twip and Straight Down the Middle. We've got Dennis Kriesel from Eclectic Gamers Podcast. Kaz, Special Elite Correspondent. Got Albert from Pinball Nerds Podcast here. We've got Zachary is
Brother
Mr.
Dwight.
Dwight Sullivan. Dwight, the master of code over there at Stern Pinball.
What up, Dwight?
Zach's recommending that we, or Zachary, Dwight's recommending that we stream Elvira at some point with Greg Ferris. It'd be fun. Greg's been here.
Absolutely.
He was
Yeah.
here and played on my Scared Stiff.
Yep.
And
Cool.
It was so cool to see like the guy who's like his passion's all involved.
Oh
in
my
that
God!
thing.
have
Yeah.
you seen the detail he's put into this game? I mean,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
the
no,
game.
it is.
I mean, it's like
Yep.
he's like
Insane.
yeah, it's like nuts. I mean, it's like you need a
Yeah.
magnifying glass to find all the crap he's put in the
It's-
game.
it's
I can't wait to
It's
see it in
like-
person, man.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Lord Helmet was going to send another question because he had a question about George's background, and I didn't want
Yeah.
to get
Oh
ignored.
sure.
All right.
Ignored. So, there
So
we
he
go.
says,
Thanks,
George,
Lord Helmet.
just curious, what is your background? Engineer? What pulled you into pinball?
Right. So I have a degree in industrial design. So I'm a product designer by trade, and my career started out working on video games. I worked on Spy Hunter and Tron back in the back in the late
Big
70s, early 80s at Midway Games. I was a toy inventor at a consulting firm. All we did was invent toys and sell them to all the big toy.
Oh wow.
That was my job after Midway. I was at Midway about 7 years, and then worked for this consulting firm for about 5 years. That was fun, designing all kinds of toys.
I love
And,
looking at your sketches because they're so
Yeah.
like they look like pieces of art. You know
Well,
what
I mean,
Like,
it's like
it's
that's
pretty
what
awesome.
designers do, right?
Yeah,
So,
I like it though. And you
then,
share that stuff online too, which is
Oh yeah, it's and if you Facebook friend me, all that stuff's up there.
Yeah.
So, and then I at somewhere along the line I looked at. I did novelty games. Like I did all kinds of redemption type novelty games. While I was doing that, I sort of the Williams guys noticed me, and I thought, pinball machine looks like a big giant toy. I think it would be fun to design those.
Yeah.
So then I went to work at Willie, and I did all the games I did when I was there, and so.
Pinball machines are big toys, so I would like
Yeah,
them.
they are. Yep.
Well, and one of the craziest stories that I heard you tell, and I can't remember where, but so forgive me for that, was
Yeah.
your idea on how you came across how to do NBA Fast Break. You were in the middle of doing a redemption game. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. We were doing a head-to-head game with cannons. It started out with flippers and pinball, right? And you had as many balls as you could have, and it was sort of video game rules. You had a tank, and I had a tank, and the tank was sort of laid out in inserts in the center of the playfield.
Okay.
And when there were the targets up playfield were all tanks, and so when you blew up a tank, you were basically eventually I lost pieces of my life, right? If,
Okay.
You know, like the tanks, their lights started at the tank in the back, and it started moving towards you. And if you didn't blow him up, and
Yeah.
that light got to your tank, you're dead.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
So you lost a piece of your life.
Got like a
And
rapid fire
That
kind
actually sounds.
Right.
I
So,
kind of would like to see
sort
that
of.
now.
Yeah. And somebody out there is the Whitewood. I've seen the Whitewood out
Okay.
online. Somebody's got it.
What's the name of this game?
It was called at the time. It was called Armed and Dangerous.
Armed and
Okay.
Dangerous.
And then we went the flipper thing. We couldn't make it work. That the timing was just off. It wasn't. I couldn't have constant balls. They were like balls would be coming back, and it just wasn't. You needed to have instant firepower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we took the tanks and we made the tanks. We made a cannon, and the cannon fired a 1-inch nylon ball through the air. And you took out these tanks with the nylon ball, and the two games were linked together, right?
Yeah.
So basically the tanks on your game were mine, and the tanks on my game were yours, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was the head-to-head concept, right? But the sales guys came down and looked at the game at one of the reviews, and they said, we just don't know what to do with this thing. But they said, but if you start a pinball machine, if you just start a pinball design tomorrow, we know what to do with that.
Yeah.
So, like, they killed the game. So it was
Wow.
like, okay, I had to start a pinball design right away, and I didn't have a lot of time. It's the story of my life. I always end up. I'm the guy with the compressed schedules every time. And but I never say no, and so I said, okay, go get me an NBA license. And I sort of knew in my head, for a long time I'd had this idea about a defender and working against the shot clock and being able to pass the ball back and forth, like fast
Yeah.
break, right? And so I started that, and then as we right away the team focused on getting the Whitewood up and getting the pinball machine built. And a little bit as we progressed, one day we started thinking, hey, how do we salvage all that linking stuff that we did for
Sure.
And that's and that was like eureka, and it works because of the basketball scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
1, 2s, and 3s. You get to it's a relatable score, and Tim Kitzrow, the announcer, right, keeping the pace, 4 quarters of basketball, 32-second shot clock, or 20-second
Oh,
shot
yeah.
clock. It's like all the 24-second shot clock, all that stuff is like the magic,
yeah.
right?
Well, I mean,
It works.
that was ahead of its time. And here,
It
you
was.
were in Chicago in the 90s, so, I mean,
Yeah.
it was Bulls fever.
Yeah.
Everyone was watching
Yeah,
it.
it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was, and the guys across, the guys that, at that time, Midway and Bally were one company, and Williams were all one company, and my good friend Mark Trammell was, had just done NBA Jam, so
Yeah.
we had
Ah,
an
cool.
NBA relationship. I was watching what he was doing, right? So it's like, oh, NBA is perfect. I'll do a pinball version, and
We need-
yeah. So
We need that.
We
We need the linked NBA jams.
need,
Or the NBA fast breaks.
we do
NBA
that.
Fast Breaks, yeah.
Yeah.
Pinball machine
Good
holds
game.
a special
I've had
place
one.
in your heart. Yeah, I mean, you know what? They all hold a special place in my heart because I put everything I am into them, and even when you don't like them, I put everything. Even when you hate them, I put everything I have into them. So they're all like that snapshot in time.
Sure.
And I have to say right now I'm very enamored with Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I'm still very enamored with my Monster Bash. And on certain days my Lord of the Rings speaks to me, right? And so it's kind of like, it's there's days where I'm like, wow, Johnny Mnemonic, what an amazing, it's like I had so much fun with that.
Good game.
That was one of the funniest stories I think I've ever heard. You tell once again, I don't know where it was from, but you went to go see the premiere of Johnny Mnemonic, and you were like,
Yeah,
"This
called
is
the factory and said, we got to get out of this. we got to get out. We got to get out now.
And now that's like a cult game.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that
What
game.
game is that?
Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh, Johnny Mnemonic?
The
Yeah.
movie studio. The movie studio. We were hassling them. Come on, you guys got to show us the movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
And I knew, I was a fan of William Gibson. I'd read the short story, and the short story was cool.
Yeah.
And so I thought, and Neil Nicastro was running.
There's a tilt
Williams
button
at the time.
in
He
this.
said, he said, you got to do this. Sony's going to put, $100 million into this. And I was like, okay. And
Which makes
so-
complete sense, though.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
makes complete sense. And then we kept saying, well, show us something. Show us something. And it was like we're at the end of the development cycle. I mean, we've got our pinball machine basically built, and they said, okay, come fly to Hollywood. So I flew to Hollywood, and they screened the movie for me, and I ran out of the movie theater, called Chicago. Can we get out of this?
That's horrible. Oh man, that's the risk you run, right? Like,
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
tough.
Can we let's name it something else.
we'll retheme the sucker or something.
Make it Whoa Nelly Big Juicy Melons, man. Just redo it. That's crazy.
But you know what? Even now, though, you got those people that are diehard Johnny Mnemonic fans. I mean, that are.
Yeah, I mean, I love the game. I mean, the game we made. By the way, we made more money with the game than they did with the movie.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys. We've Benzik Pinball subbed for 2 months. Appreciate it. And TurboGrafx 7, welcome
TurboGrafx.
aboard, Ryan.
Thank
What's
you,
up,
guys.
Favorite game that I wasn't involved in. I like a lot of the same stuff you guys like. I like Attack from Mars. I like Medieval Madness. I love Terminator 2. I mean, right now I'm gonna own a Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I'm personally gonna
Very
own a
cool.
Jurassic Park. My own hard-earned money is gonna go to a Jurassic Park.
Right.
I helped those guys a little bit with the dinosaur, and I think that
And your
I
Jeep
think-
too, right?
Yeah, and I think they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I think it's a
Big time.
solid. I think those premiums are like premium LEs are just so solid.
But we
Oh,
have an
yeah.
Ellie here.
Yeah.
We unboxed it Friday, and because we've been shooting the Pro for a few weeks, and man, I mean the fun factor is there, but you get all the other stuff that's added on.
You know what?
it's-
You're gonna
it's
get
unbelievable.
and you're gonna get a lot cooler dyno behavior.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I mean,
like some of the updates that those guys are working on
Oh.
are a bunch of cool, like a
George,
lot
don't
more.
Coming down the
Don't say
road.
that,
Yeah.
man. I bought the Pro. That was my first new in box, and you're gonna
Well,
make me sell it.
I mean,
Right.
I'm saying, you know what?
gonna make you sell
the
it.
Pro is a solid game.
It is a
I know,
solid
I
game.
know,
It's a
I know.
Very solid.
game.
It is.
So George, Kid Chriso asks, how many games do you currently own?
So I own everything. I have.
Everything you made, okay.
Yeah, everything I made. I have a Terminator 2. I have a Medieval Madness. I have. Trying to think. Yeah. So I mean, everything I made basically means
yeah,
I don't have any room for games.
yeah. Right.
Well, we know how that goes.
So you got
yes,
storage.
Brian Eddy is hard at work. Yes. Flipping out. Yes, he is.
I can't wait to see what Brian Eddy's working on.
Yeah.
All right, one
Yeah.
question we'll let you shoot. Which Transformers version do you have?
Okay,
The LE,
I'll be
the
right back.
Decepticon, or the?
Yeah. I have a Decepticon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave that alone.
All right.
Sorry,
Trending up.
I just had it.
Transformers
Just,
Decepticon.
I will own a Batman 66. I've yet to take it home.
That's cool.
storage issues.
So
it's a real,
yeah.
so we,
it's a real thing.
space issues, man. We all have.
I
them.
was like, I paid to store games that they're brand new in the box. I have no place to put them.
Sure. So you got a little storage unit going.
Playing-
Storage unit.
Yeah.
You got to start storing them at your sister's or brother's house or.
That's what I do. I'm
That's
starting to
where I'm
foster.
at.
I'm starting to foster.
What is? Let's see. What are some of these other questions? What am I catching here?
Let's see. Do you have a black Batman: The Dark Knight? Someone
Yeah.
says
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Actually,
know-
and I had both versions. I did like a stripped down version.
yeah. So
And I donated that.
so you
to,
donated that one to Project Pinball.
I did, yeah.
Cool.
Project
Okay.
Pinball. And
Nice.
and somehow I had ended up with two regular ones, and I don't remember why. I think one of them was like a parts game or something. Like
Yeah,
little
sure.
bits and pieces. And
I'll
I
take
got
one.
I put it all back together. Ended up auctioning it to a charity at a charity event, and it went for like more money than you can imagine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's
Very
awesome
cool,
though when
George.
you can help people out like that.
Yeah,
help
it's-
charities.
Yeah.
And,
It's. I mean, you gotta. You just gotta. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I've been really fortunate. I mean, I'm blessed to have spent a career making fun stuff, and you can't. I think about, man, what my life could have been.
Well, I mean, and if you think about it this way, George, we'll let you take your turn. I mean, nothing rounds out your career like showing up on the Flip N Out streaming channel. This
I mean, Star Wars,
Absolutely,
this is it now.
It's going
I mean,
right.
it's like
Spit my beer all
going on
over
my-
here, man.
It's
the
like,
pinnacle
absolutely.
of a very established
No,
career.
I
for George.
appreciate,
All
I
downhill from
appreciate
here,
the
George.
invite. I appreciate the invite.
No, we appreciate that you came out. I'm having
Yeah,
a good
dude.
time.
Good times.
Let's wrap this game up, and then you want to take a couple calls before you
Sure,
cruise
absolutely,
out?
yeah.
Are you
I
you
think
good
you're
with
up.
Am I
that?
up?
Yep.
You are up. You are up.
What do we got score wise up here? This is a bad one.
This game shoots a lot better after you had me set it up properly. By the way, I had this at like 5.5 degrees.
You mean when you set a game up, it actually plays better?
George is like, you can put a little more pitch on it. I think it'll play a little faster. And he's like, it seems a little floaty. I'm like, all right, it's at like 5.5. Where do you want it? He's like, how about 7? I'm like, oh snap! I'm down there.
Oh yeah,
It's
it
been
plays
a
good.
good amount of time underneath that pinball machine trying to get that thing set up. So it's playing fun. And there is a tilt bob in this. So you know the only game we didn't have that tilt bob in was the Oktoberfest, right?
No, I think it was in there, but the it had something blocking it.
Oh,
so yeah.
Or what was the game that Chuck was trying to tilt out when he was here, and we couldn't do it? And it was
Oh, my
because the
God.
manuals are.
Black Knight.
Oh, did you tilt out?
I've tilted this thing like so many times.
You got to put a tilt in your office now because you're just breathing on it. You looked at it and it tilted.
Really?
So what's the record number of games Stern has, like, title-wise, Stern's put out in a year? Not number-wise, not quantities, but, like, as far as, like, titles.
No idea.
No idea?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like,
There's a question from Pins Rule, which
Yeah,
is
and-
Dr. John out of
and
Australia.
you know, the year's not out.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, now last year you guys snuck a couple titles in at the end of the year where I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
So so a lot of that is about the European market.
Yeah.
Because we've got to get games on the water.
Right.
So so December, a lot of the December intros are more intended to go overseas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys see them like usually in January of the following year.
So we're in September. We've got October, November, December. So potentially
Yeah.
4 or 5 more releases from
Well,
Stern.
there's
still ready to
there's
go.
there's Christmas coming. You know,
I
so
know.
you gotta,
I
like,
know.
you know,
little holiday
gotta
cheer.
have some fun stuff.
I couldn't agree anymore. Can you box me out of there? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can. Sorry.
Thank you. No, you're good. You're good. It's too long for me to walk over there, Bill.
Grand champ,
I'm
huh?
tired. I'm tired.
what was that score?
Well, George brought over like fresh code on this today, right?
Yeah, I did. We're gonna do another release soon. This release, I was telling these guys, I said, you know, I hate to tease you with the notion of the Star Wars topper, but this release actually has a bunch of code that had I been able to bring you a topper.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? The line would have been out the door to look at the topper, so it's probably best we would have had a traffic issue.
Yeah.
yeah,
High score number 3. Who was that for player 2?
yeah.
That was George.
Oh,
Was it? Okay.
I don't know if you want to enter your
Just
initials.
box
in or-
me out. Nope.
Okay.
we're going to go into after hours here in a second. And after hours is fun, George, because we just essentially just take a couple calls.
It's all good.
We'll get as many people in. You got another 15, 20 minutes before you got to skedaddle, or what are you thinking? It's 7:15. I know you're tight on time.
I'm good. I'm good. Just let's bring it. Let's give people what they want.
Spring,
So,
guys.
Oh, I like that.
Pins rule. You got good taste. Deadpool and Batman 66.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if a game comes out after Elvira says Anonymous. Hey, never say never. You never know. 467, thank you. All right, let's get into a little
Wrong.
after hours here. Before we do that, we're going to pay some
buddy.
bills. After hours is here. Actually, I think we have another. Do we have another graphic for this? Hey, there he is with
Whoa.
George
Ooh.
Gomez. He's there. We're going to open up the call here in a second. Typically, we have a lot of regulars that call in, and these guys bring it every single week. So let's see if we can have some fun as I set up the hotline here, and we'll get back to chat here in just a second. So bear with me as we set up.
I'll
the,
beer with you.
Yeah, beer with me.
Dude, we're catching like a tan from this TV with the white screen there. It's like,
Hey.
whoa.
That's what it's
Face
all
red.
about.
Be helpful in winter.
So the number 630-283-2888. All that we ask is that you be kind and courteous, ask a good question, and let's get people in and out so that we can get as many people in to talk to George while he's still here. And that's the number. Live Catch Pinball. Have you already selected, closed the 7 themes for the year? How much time do you need in advance to launch a theme?
Read that again. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's the question is, have you already selected or closed the 7 themes for the next year?
Yeah.
And how much time do you need in advance to launch a theme? So I guess is your schedule all the way out?
So the dev schedules are. I mean, we know we're making probably through 2021.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's because different licenses and different approvals.
Absolutely.
And we have to plan, right? I mean, we have to So we know a lot of the stuff that we're making. The dev cycle on a game is roughly 14 months.
Okay.
Something like that. So, it's depending on the designer, depending on the challenges that he runs into along the way, and so. Yeah.
Good times. Caller, welcome to the Flip N Out Streaming Network. You're on with George Gomez.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Zach Mini. What's up,
Zach,
Zach?
brother?
You're on with George, Zach.
Oh, my God.
We're so patient.
George Gomez is there.
Yes,
He's
here,
there.
dude.
I see him.
I didn't believe it until he pulled up. It was a nice experience.
Gomi. How's it going, George?
All good, brother. All good.
So we had fun
Thanks
tonight
again
streaming.
Thanks again for coming and hanging out with the guys there and representing Star Wars, the pin. I played the heck out of that thing before I shipped it up to those guys, and I got to say, the layout is tight, it's fast, furious, it's so much fun, man. Excellent job.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun making it. And like I said, it's a lot of people said, it's the same as the Supreme or the Spidey, but the reality is that it's all different.
Right.
It is very, are there similarities? Absolutely. But no two posts are in the same place. It's an opportunity to make it better. So why wouldn't you do it?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's fun too, Zach, because you played it. We're just getting games under our belt, but I was saying earlier, it doesn't feel like it's not a pinball experience. It just feels like it's a different layout of Star Wars. It's a fun pinball machine.
It does.
Absolutely. The fun thing about this machine is that the affordability on it now, I can, as a dealer, distributor, I can take it to doctor's offices and pitch it. I can take it to office break rooms, rec rooms.
Oh, good point.
Everywhere. This thing fits perfect.
And that's the hope, right? The hope is that not only will you get it into new places, but it'll introduce new people into the hobby, right? And little kids, it's friendly.
It's not a horrible master bedroom pin either. Like if you just needed to have something up
Absolutely.
there.
Bathroom.
Talk the wife into it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Right
it's
in
just
front
like,
of we're going to put this in the corner.
Well, you just put it up there. You don't ask.
Right.
Especially like everybody in chat right now, think of how great this would be if you went to work tomorrow morning and this pin was sitting in your break room. You'd be playing the hell out of this thing. So you need to pitch it to whoever's running that business. If it's you, get one of these in your break room.
Yeah.
Pitching to my boss.
It's a way to go.
Seriously.
Easy to maintain too. He was talking about accessories that there are add-ons, obviously, that you can put into the pin, seamlessly integrated. So it's not anything overly complex. So
One quick question for George, and I'll leave you guys alone so everybody else can call. George, some of my favorite ramp shots in pinball history were designed by you. They were the left ramp on Monster Bash and the left ramp to Legolas on Lord of the Rings. From the playfield straight to wire form, do you see yourself ever utilizing that design feature in another cornerstone pin?
Sure. And there's one on this pin, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, there is.
Yep,
Yes, there is.
absolutely.
Yep. And I gave you 2 ways up on this one.
Yes, you did.
So, yeah, I love that design. I think it makes for some really fast ramps, and
Absolutely.
And you can do. You can get a lot of speed, and you can get the ball on the guide long before you hit the wire, and that's the magic, right? That's really the magic.
It's so smooth.
Yeah. It's like
All right.
so.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks again, George. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Ken, Bill, Beatty, love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Zach.
buddy.
Appreciate it, man. So,
See ya.
yeah. Peace. See you too. So that opens up the line, 630-283-2888, on with George Gomez of Stern Pinball. And actually, George, you brought a couple flyers, Star Wars flyers that you signed that we can give away tonight, right?
Yeah, we've got 5 flyers. Give them away.
So we'll have to
Those are in my
give,
car
give something
now.
away. Thanks for calling the Flip N Out Streaming Network. You're on with George Gomez.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from here.
Hey, what's up, Dr. John? How's Australia today?
It's good. I've got the flu, but that's okay.
Oh, geez.
Life with children. That's just what it is.
I'm
If I
sorry.
knew a doctor, I'll treat myself. That's okay. I just wanted to say to George, mainly congratulations to Stern on coming out of the dark ages with coding. The feeling I've got is, 2 years ago, so many games came out with such early code that they weren't appreciated. They were getting bad reviews. Batman 66 got a hell of a hard time when it first came out, but with all the new staff that you're employing, now do you have, I think, and Dwight doing his updates with Game of Thrones and Ghostbusters, do you think we've seen the end of days with games coming out with incomplete code?
Well, I'll tell you that.
Thanks for the call, Dr. John.
I'll tell you that we don't want to ship incomplete code any more than you want to get incomplete code. Our environment is not as nice, neat, and predictable as you imagine it is. Meaning that things happen. Like licensing things happen, issues happen with the product itself. Meaning that maybe a device required a lot more driver design than it would have normally, than you anticipated,
Sure.
et cetera.
Yep, makes sense.
And even with all that being said, we're still a very small shop.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys think I've added like 30 coders. I haven't. It's like
But you have increased staff there, though. I mean, that's,
we have.
You addressed that.
We have increased staff, and we've always been a self-funded business, meaning that the business of the company is what funds R&D, it's what funds growth, it's what funds survival, and we have to do what we have to do to get by, to survive, and so it is the success that we've had. When I took over product development in 2011. There were nine guys in the company, right? And we went into the business of making, cornerstones, three distinct models, price points, and 3 a year with a very, very reduced staff, right? So you can imagine the challenges,
stresses,
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like it's that growth out. It's that has allowed us to ship the games in a more finished fashion. We pay for the games with our own money, the guys in product development, and we all own games. We all buy them.
Yep.
And we don't want unfinished games anymore, and you want them. So we get it, and I feel your pain, and I'm sorry that we had to ship some of the games we did the way they were. I can tell you that there's lots of stuff behind the scenes that you don't see, challenges that when we do something and it's maybe not real clear to you why, and as a company we're not in the business of we're very passionate about the games we make,
right,
and we want them to be great.
We get it.
So.
Well, and everything's done with a reason. It's not just because it's willy-nilly.
Yeah,
Let's just get it out now.
Yeah, it's
perfect. Caller, you still there?
That's cool. Can I have my one brick shot at George?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Bring it.
Have you ever tried to play the Deadpool Alley record that came with the Alley?
No. Because I have all those. I have all those songs. I have all those songs on on my phone.
iTunes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll give you the tip. When you next make an LE to give away a LP to give away the pinball machine, can you put separation grooves between the tracks, because it's all one track on each side?
It's the Extended Club remix.
One of them. You can't pick
It's intentional.
LELP, baby.
Well, there's the brick shot, Dr.
Yeah.
John. We're going to
Yeah.
let you go, but I hope you feel
That's my
better,
brick
buddy.
shot.
Get better.
I will, mate. Thanks very much for the stream.
Dr. John. All right, so we got a little album conversation. Taco Pizza wants to know when we're going to get a toll-free number. Is there such thing as a toll-free number? I ran out of 1010, 811 minutes, international tools. Let's see. Dave Falcon heard birds. That was Dr. John on hold. So that's how that worked out. Any chance for Nintendo-themed games in the future? Hypercoaster 200. Have you ever had to think about working with Nintendo as a license? Is that something you could talk about?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there were Nintendo conversations long before my time, like back in the these days. I don't have anything against anything. I mean, there's no conceptually nothing against the Nintendo.
Like, do you think
product.
like a video game could make for a good pinball theme?
Well, so we pick themes based on what we think the largest
demographic or audience.
Yeah, largest demographic, largest audience. We every once in a while we can do what we call a niche game, where we can take a shot at something that maybe is not so obvious.
Right.
Or that we think there's a large enough audience for it, even if it doesn't like cover our normal audience, right? I'm thinking of like, for example, Iron Maiden, right? So it's Iron Maiden, huge in Europe, right? We knew that there were pockets of the States we weren't going to penetrate. And, that
ended up being a widely popular game here.
Yeah. So I think that you have nothing against Nintendo. I mean, seriously, we could,
You never know. Don't rule it out.
Yeah. Never know.
Yeah. Caller, thanks for calling in to the Flip N Out Streaming Network. Monday Night Pinball, you're on with George Gomez.
What's up, you maniacs?
Hey, Dave. Dave Fallback. Calling from beautiful
Mr.
Plainfield,
Gomez,
Illinois.
one of the kings of the maniacs over there. Thank you so much for everything, all your contributions and all your mad contraptions that you've thrown in front of me over the years. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
My question is, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I know there was a little controversy towards the beginning of the year about the Beetlejuice pin and how it wasn't made, and you had made a comment saying that you don't get into it, that basically none of the teams were interested in it. How does that go down? I mean, you don't have to be specific on that, but I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, so it's important for the teams to be passionate about the products they're making, right?
Yeah.
That's really, because I don't want to work on something I'm not interested in. So why would I?
You don't want to feel obligated. You want to feel
for a
more
year,
involved.
14 months.
So
Sure, I get it.
So if that product that concept that you're referring to was one of 50 licenses that we look at, and it didn't really go as far as you think it did. It did, meaning that Joe Kamikow at Kapow had a relationship with the licensor because I think he had helped them with some, or he had gotten them into some slot machine stuff.
Absolutely.
And and he said to us, what do you guys think about this? And he thought it was a strong candidate. Our issues weren't, and no conceptual problem with the license. I mean, it's an absolutely valid license. It's an awesome, it's an awesome property. But at the same time, it's kind of like you have to say, this is the stuff that's on our plate. Do we prefer this over this, right? And that's really how that happened. It's just
Steve made an interesting point too, because if it's one thing, if you're not behind a license, it's not that you're going to phone it in, but to be on that license for 14 months is a huge chunk of your life on something that you're not really passionate about.
I mean, do you know anybody who creates things that creates good things if they're not interested in the thing they're creating?
I get it.
Exactly.
So are you going in front of the group saying, okay, we've got these 5 titles, or how does that? I'm just kind of interested
selection,
in the process.
Yeah, license selection. So the license selection, it's discussed not only in product development. It's discussed. It starts out as a discussion in the executive team, right? So the sales and marketing guys, the licensing guys, the rest of the executives in the company. Eventually, at some point. I represent product development, right? So I take the license back to my guys and I say, hey, these are, this is what's on the table. Is anyone raising their hands for this stuff? And people will go, yeah, I really want that, or I'm not interested in that, or that's not me. Because certain you know my guys, you know a lot of my guys, and you know that certain things fit certain guys,
Right.
and
Most
myself,
definitely.
you know, myself included. I'm just like I'm like I want to work on stuff that I think is cool, that I can envision doing something with, right? So
Yeah, don't force
it's
it.
really that, and so then I go back to that committee that selects licenses, and I say, this designer, that designer raise their hand for this. We'll have to have them fight it out or whatever, or we'll see. The other element that is very significant is you may have a team that's very interested, but it doesn't fit in their schedule, right? Because they're off doing something and they're
Yeah.
not going to be free when that particular property has to be made.
Yeah.
And sometimes the has to be made is not something that it's a combination, right? The licensor has a lot to say about when they want their property in the world, right? And it's not always open-ended. It's not always like you can do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes the pressure is also maybe you want to coattail on something they're doing, right?
Okay,
you
yeah,
know, like
right.
you know, whatever. A band's going on tour, or
A movie.
a movie's coming out, or something. You know, there's some event so that you want to leverage marketing wise. So that's really the deal.
Does that answer your question there, Dave?
Yes, thank you so much. And one last thing, fast break.
Oh yeah.
Good times, brother. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for calling in, Dave.
All right, what's the fast break reference that's taking the world by storm here?
I don't know. I guess people like that game.
People like the fast break.
Fast break.
So, good times. All right, catching up on chat here a little bit. What do we have going on here?
A little animated chat today.
Yeah, we got a little people going back and forth. Lord of the Rings is the greatest game of all time. There it is. There it is. I happen to have one right here, right now. Do you have a nickname, George? Anybody?
No,
No?
not really. I mean, it's like sometimes they use my initials, right? I hear like a GG, you know, say. You know.
Did you? So have
anybody talk to GG about this?
No, I know, right?
Okay.
Have you been in your career then, like, because you're talking about passion behind themes? Have you ever been asked to dedicate a lot of time and effort into something that you just weren't behind?
I'll tell you an interesting story. I had read, the Lord of the Rings fiction.
Yeah.
As you know, when I was in high school, and when they brought me that, when Gary called me and he wanted me to work on that, at the time the first Matrix movie had just come out, you know, and I wanted him to go get me a Matrix.
Yeah,
license.
you want a Matrix.
Yeah,
for sure.
I wanted, you know,
Yeah.
and boy, did I dodge that bullet, right? I mean,
Matrix
so-
would be decent,
right.
though.
I also think that Keith Johnson was way more into the theme than I was,
Right.
and so I think that and really the depth in that game is and the things that people like revel in, you know, stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff,
yeah.
and you know, like all of those threads. That's really key, right? I mean, it's
So
like
did his enthusiasm kind of pull you in?
yeah. I mean, I think that you know that there's a point where a team has to like collaborate.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
and it's like everybody. The ideas come from a lot of places, and then everybody splits up and everybody does their part, and then you come back together, you know, and that's just the process, right? So, you know, there's a lot of things that were like a conversation that, you know, it's like, okay, now I have to go make this real.
Yeah,
You know?
right. Yeah.
Like, you know, I have to catch the ball in this magnet, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
shoot it through the air, catch it in this magnet.
Sounds easy.
You know, yeah, it sounds really easy, right? Well, I'll tell you what, you know, a lot of late nights for him and a lot of late nights for me on how to make that happen, right?
Yeah.
And so, and that's
imagine.
every great team that I've been a part of, that's been the interaction, right?
Yeah.
The Monster Bash interaction between Lyman
Yeah.
and I was that, and the Deadpool interaction between Tonio and I was that, and so that, you know, I mean, that's what it takes.
It's perfect. We got another caller here.
Very cool.
You're on with George Gomez.
Hey, first off, I want to say thanks to everybody on there, especially having George out here. This is Lord Helmet. Thought I'd call in. It's
What's
been a
up, Lord
long time
Helmet?
since
Lord
I've done
Helmet.
this.
What up, brother?
I've got a question, George. How is it decided what themes are the ones that Stern deems worthy of going after, and how many other people are involved in that process, and what is their say? I'm not sure if you can even answer that. But
well, I think I just hit that.
Yeah, just kind of touched on that
like,
for sure.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago, I just touched on that. But to reiterate, so we look at everything. Some of the licenses are licenses that we go after, meaning that we think this would be viable. This would be a great license for us to do as a company. Sometimes the desire comes out of the design development teams. Go get me this.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have dedicated licensing people that are exposed to everything. Right. They go to the licensing show. They're shown everything. They put together a report, a regular report that basically says, this is what this company's doing. This is what they're bringing out. This is the money they're putting behind it. These are the actors involved. This is when it's happening. And we do that for everything. It could be sports. It could be music. It could be, it's basically about being, having your finger on the pulse of popular culture, right?
Yep.
And so it's like we want stuff that's culturally relevant, and that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So that gets discussed in the teams, and then I said earlier it's really important that the teams be passionate about the products they're building. And so they get a big vote, and and then sometimes the schedule, like you may have guys that raise their hands for a license, and the schedule doesn't allow them, because of the schedule they're on, doesn't allow them to work on that game, because that game that particular license, the licensor says, or it makes sense for it to come out at a different time because it's a movie launch or a band tour or whatever.
Yeah.
So
a lot of factors. Does that answer your question there, Lord Helmet?
Yeah, it does. And sorry to make it reiterate, I probably muted my stereo. Right
No,
now.
no worries.
So we were talking about that.
It's important stuff. It's fun to talk about.
I hear that question a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I don't mind covering it again, because I
great.
get asked that question all the time.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Lord Helmet.
Thanks.
Maybe get one or two more, and then we'll get you on your way here. You good? A couple quick questions in chat. Will Stern introduce any new artists in 2020?
Yeah, you might. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Monster Bash 98 wrote, "What is your favorite game and why is it Monster Bash?" I thought that was kind of clever, so I kept that one in my mind to ask you to make sure if it got off the screen.
I'm not an amazing pinball player, and so I need games that are accessible.
You're in the right place, George. We're not amazing pinball players.
I like games. I like games that are accessible, right?
I got you.
And so when I play games like there's a premium Deadpool in the Stern Arcade, and every night on my way out I play that thing, and sometimes in the middle of the day I play that thing, and sometimes during lunch hour, whatever. And the thing is that I'll have 8 crap games.
Yeah.
And then I'll have one amazing game.
Blow it up, right?
That makes me feel like, okay, I can do that again. Yep. I want to do that again.
No, it does that to me.
Golf
does that to me.
8 more crap ones.
And it's and then 8 more crap ones. You might do it.
You ever golf?
But no, I don't golf.
108 shots, 3 of them were decent, so I think I can beat Tiger Woods.
So, but it's funny because the high score table at Stern is it's a tough it's a tough crowd, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you say tough, you mean impossible, right?
Yeah,
you're not getting up there.
So,
I mean, you're not getting up
there.
So
it was really funny because one day, I put up a big score on Deadpool, and I stood back and I was like, holy crap, look who's below me, right? And that lasted an hour. Because then I mentioned it on something, and then they all
we gotta go take them down.
Yeah, then they all lined up, and then it was buried it, right? So yeah. I mean, I like accessible games. My Monster Bash is that. My Deadpool. My Deadpool is challenging because some of those shots are hard, and yet they're really rewarding when you make them. And so, yeah.
All right, we'll take one more call for George. We'll let him get on his way. He's generous with his time tonight, and we actually
thanks, George.
keeping you longer than we had anticipated.
No problem.
So we'll see what happens. Can you talk about the depth of Elvira House of Horrors rules and code? More accessible, more depth, multi-ball heavy, mode-based. Any general overview of what we can expect?
Yeah, definitely mode-based. Definitely, Lyman and Greg really going to town and having a good time. Really fun stuff on screen. She did a bunch of custom stuff.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I think that stuff, and they've actually got some really cool things. I can't I want them to tell you.
Yep.
They've got a couple of really cool features that I think you guys are going to really like that are fresh, and so it's a very friendly play field to shoot. Originally that game started. It was a little bit tougher, and as the Whitewoods evolved, it really got sweet. And it shoots really nice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the pictures don't do it justice.
Okay.
It's gonna blow your eyes out of your head. I mean, it's
gonna blow your eyes out of your head.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
It's just the pictures don't do it justice. It's like Full Metal Ferris.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the dude went like out. He's out of his mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like went out of his mind, and so
I look forward to playing it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Is that going to be, other than the Dead Flip stream, is that going to be the first time the public will really kind of be able to put their hands on it? Will anything ship prior to Expo? Can you talk about that at all?
I mean,
because we've got those signature editions, and you got the LEs, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know when they're going to get into people's hands, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I got you.
I know that you will definitely, it's going to be, I think it's going to be the hit of Expo. I think that, tune in Wednesday night, Dead Flip, those guys are streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, Lyman, Greg, Dennis might be in the house for that.
Oh, a little Dennis Norman appearance, huh?
Yeah,
Nice.
Dennis might be in the house for that.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I mean,
so it's fun, something to look forward to. Well, listen, we are gonna shut this thing down tonight. I want to say thanks so much for taking your time and coming in. Star Wars, the pin is something that I didn't realize that we were gonna have hands-on experience with. And then to have it with the designer here is it's been an honor. So I mean,
thanks,
I really
guys.
definitely honor.
Thanks. I wish it's this. Definitely, the stream is distracting relative to play.
No, I believe me. I'm still trying to figure it out, and unfortunately, I don't do either very well. So
we know our streaming team has a pinball problem. It's not our pinball team.
Right.
You don't streaming problem.
Right. Everybody's safe at Stern with the high scores. That's for sure.
I was like, wait, I dragged one of those things into my office today and said, I'm going to play and tune up.
Get all prepped up for those two games we put on.
No tilt in there.
I was doing just fine back in the office.
Well, I was doing all right, and then you came over and made me increase the pitch by 2 degrees. So all my shots were off. But
just a bit outside.
But it's fun. It's not difficult to find your shots regardless of what pitch you're at. But it's been fun.
That's a fun shooting game.
I want to thank the sponsors tonight, Scott from Pin Stadium, for illuminating this pin tonight, for streaming with the Extremes, for the professional streamer. And I want to thank Neil from PinQuest. We hit 2 of the PinQuest challenges tonight, so rocking and rolling. Thank you guys for your support. I want to thank everybody in chat that's been here. I want to thank Zach and Nicole Menny from Flip N Out Pinball for allowing us the opportunity to stream these new games, help further the exposure of these games, and to just in general share our enthusiasm with pinball. And then finally, I want to thank Stern Pinball and George Gomez for your time, man.
Thanks a lot,
it's
guys.
awesome. It's
Thanks for having me on.
Something to kind of check off
George.
the streaming bucket list.
Really fun.
George Gomez
We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Right.
Looking forward to it. All right, for Ken Cromwell, Bill Webb, and George Gomez.
Goodbye, Internet.
Everybody have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And don't forget to take some time out of your day and play some pinball. So long, everybody.